Well, hello, here I am again.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think I lost my internet. I'm not sure what happened.
Um,
But we don't need to be recording yet.
no. Oh, I see there's only my
Zoom recording. Good, that looks good. Okay, back to share screen. I look almost like I know what I'm doing, but not quite. Not quite because my PowerPoint is not working. Okay, there we go. All right. Welcome everybody to Right On for Better Health. This is our second webinar. Some people are joining for the first time, and some people are participating for the second time who have already done this. And some people are going to be participating offline because they're not available in real time tonight. And tonight's webinar will be posted when we're finished. I'll post it on my website, so anybody can go back to it, and it'll just be there anyway for whatever reason. So we're doing Right On for Better Health, and this is our first. Our first session of the new webinar. So I'm Barbara Burrows. I'm a psychoanalyst, and I should have reminded everybody that what they need to have right now is a private, quiet spot to write, and they need to have a notebook and a pen, and so that they're ready to go when we start doing the writing exercises. My text number is 905-320-8929. So please jot it down, because those that participated the last time experienced the power outage in my office when I lost my internet connection. And I guess everybody that was on the webinar was saying, where is she? Anyway, luckily, some people had my text number, so they were able to let the others know what happened until I got back online. So, one important change, although I promoted this as 4 sessions, we're going to do just 3 sessions to start with. We're going to work on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening. If you choose not to continue, your feedback on why you decided to withdraw would be helpful. And if you could email me to let me know whether it was too intense, whether you found yourself bored, whether it just wasn't meeting your needs, whether you got too busy. All of this feedback is just so important for me to know, because it's hard to, when I'm creating the webinar, it's of course very difficult to know what will be satisfying for the people who are participating. The reason I'm saying 3 sessions just now is because last time I did the writing with you, as you may remember, and I found myself kind of worn out after 3 evenings. I was not looking forward to the 4th evening. If in fact, when we get to Thursday evening, and if people are still enthused and are still wanting to go on, we will do Friday. But as it is, I decided only to prepare. There's only 3 done right now. So sessions will be recorded, as I said. If you participate offline, or if anybody that you know wants to participate, make sure that you start with session number 1, which will offer some information about the mind. And because I didn't get the webinars developed until just Thanksgiving weekend, I couldn't let anybody know ahead of time what aspect of the mind I had chosen to focus on. And so I decided that I wanted to do dreams, and there will be less information and more writing in session 2 and 3, But in this session, I'm going to give you some information on the mind. And I'm going to remind you that in our June webinar, I gave you some theory at the beginning. And at the beginning of the June webinar, we talked about Freud's understanding of our unconscious mind. So if there's anybody that's joining us for the first time and they would like to see what we talked about the mind in webinar number 1, it's available on my website. So the focus for now is dreams. And the reason I wanted to talk about dreams is that Freud said it was the royal road to the unconscious. And the whole purpose of writing is to reach the deeper part of our minds, the part of our minds that we're not aware of, and the part of our minds that leads to undue stress, high blood pressure. It can be all kinds of symptoms like migraine, headaches, and digestive upsets, and restless legs, and symptoms of anxiety and depression. So the writing helps alleviate these unpleasant aspects of everyday life when you can reach the deeper part of your mind of which you are unaware. So that's what got me thinking about helping you understand about dreams. So healthy sleep consists of several different stages, and you cycle through these stages 4 to 5 times during the nightly sleep cycle. At stage 5, you enter rapid eye movement, which is known as REM sleep, where most of our dreaming takes place. Now, some people are not aware of dreaming at all. Probably everybody dreams, but it doesn't mean to say that everybody can remember dreams. But what often happens when people are exposed to thinking about dreams is often they start to remember dreams when they don't normally do so. So quite possibly, even if you're not somebody who remembers your dreams, you might, based upon participating in this webinar. So I'm going to give you some simple concept of dream analysis, and it follows. In our writing exercises, one of the writing options will be to analyze your dream or dreams if you so choose. So Freud, in about 1900, wrote a book called The Interpretation of Dreams. And in its day, it was like a bestseller. People were just fascinated with what Freud was learning about the mind and was explaining about the mind. The book is, it's in today, I don't know whether it's the translation or whether it's today's world, but it's not an easy read. It's hundreds of pages, or let me say, I did not find it was an easy read. It's hundreds of pages, but one of my teachers analyzed or wrote an article and very, very succinctly captured the main point. So I'm working on my teacher's article. So when you're analyzing dreams, we want to find out the relationship between the manifest and the latent content. And the manifest content means the part that you can remember. When you wake up in the morning and said, oh, I had the funniest dream. I dreamt I was in Hawaii and, 3 crows came over and sang a song or whatever. That's the manifest part of your dream. And the latent content is the part of your unconscious that created that dream and motivated it. Somebody's got their, and I think it might be you, because I see everybody, if you can mute your mic now, we won't be able to hear any of the background noise. Thank you. Because I can see whose mics are muted and not. Okay, and the next thing is, we're going to look at the source of the dreams, because dreams come out of something that happened in the recent past, usually the day before, and we call it the day residue. Oh, I can still can hear somebody else's mic. Roberta, maybe your mic is still not muted. I still hear some rattling. Maybe you wouldn't mind if I muted it. There, I did. I'm a control freak. I hope that's okay with you, Roberta. Okay, so the sources of dreams. Whoops, I still can hear. Who's battling? I can't see anybody else that's not muted. Oh, iPad. I'm going to mute you now. There. Okay. So the sources of the dreams are the day residue. And that is some problem that you experience during the day that you may or may not be aware of. It might be the day, it might be the very day before the dream. It might be a few days before. It might be, if you know, sometimes a trauma, for example, you may dream for a long time after the trauma. And then we're going to look at the dream work, and I'll explain what that means much more fully as we go on. But the dream work is how the mind turns the hidden, latent content of the unconscious into the manifest material of the dream. That's known as the dream work. And the last thing is the dream is almost always a wish fulfillment. Now, I said almost always because I've had dreams that I just can't figure out. I can't figure out a wish at all. So it may mean that I'm just not able to analyze my dreams fully, or that maybe some dreams don't contain a wish. But now, I hope that all of you know how to take a screenshot. I know how, my kids have helped me figure out how to do it in my computer, but not yet. But when I get into the more specifics of how to analyze the dream, I'd like you to take a screenshot so that if you do have a dream and you do want to write about it, that you've got these 4 points. But I'm going to actually, if you know how to take a screenshot of this. But I'm pretty sure I've got a couple of more slides that explain things much, much more fully. You're probably trying to figure out how to take a screenshot, and I'm going to go on. I'll come back to this slide if I haven't got it more. Oh, here we go. So I already explained this. The manifest is what you can remember, and the latent is what is unconscious. So the source of the dream, oh, this is just, I've already done all this. Okay, so here we come to the third point. The dream work. And this is the one I did want you to take the screenshot in. Wait till I get the whole slide up. These are the unconscious processes that modify, disguise, and distort the forbidden wishes to produce the conscious manifest dream content. So the first unconscious process is called condensation. And this is when many ideas are pressed down and represented by a single idea, a word, or a symbol. And I find this is the hardest one to understand. But if you look at a cartoon, cartoons condense all kinds of ideas into just one little illustration. I should have looked one up so I could show you, but when I was thinking of it, I thought, well, if you dream about mother, so what can a mother represent? Could mother be a condensation? Well, I thought mother could represent nurturing, but it could also represent an authority figure. It could also represent love. It could also represent hate. It could also represent hurt. It could also represent caring. So I thought mother in a dream could have, I felt mother could be a condensation. Next would be displacement, a feeling or an idea that's redirected to another source. So displacement is when you really get mad at your boss and smile and, or civilly, and come home and kick the dog because you're in such a bad mood. That's a displacement of your anger, and it happens in dreams all the time. That there'll be a person, a tall, dark fat man could be a displacement for your thin, frail, sweet mother. Symbolization, the universal capacity of the human mind, where one element stands for another. It could be, you could think of a dove, an owl, a spider, skull and crossbones. And then I thought the Trump towers, to me, are enormous phallic symbols. And the enormous phallic symbols are perhaps, or are possibly come from a man who doesn't feel very sure about his masculinity and has to show power everywhere. Just a possibility. Then I thought of a martini. I thought of the cup of the martini and the pleasure of the martini and sipping the martini. I thought that could be a symbol for the breast or for motherhood. And then reversal. Reversals happen all over the place. And, the old man may actually be a young woman. And then look for the expression of unfulfilled wishes. So this is the page that if you know how to take a screenshot, take it, and so you will, you'll have it if you do have a dream and if you want to try to write about it. And let me go backwards for a minute, because I'm realizing that 1 and 2, this page also, if you can take a screenshot. And I guess you can also get a screenshot if you want to on the recording later. So I'm going to carry on because I can't believe that it's almost, it's after 8:15 already. So dreams are nothing more than a particular form of thinking, which is made possible by the conditions of a state of sleep. We're thinking at night when we go to sleep. Dreams concern themselves with attempts at solving our problems, as we do in waking life. If you've got a problem, you think about it a lot. And this problem solving takes place at a preconscious level, which is why, if you have had the experience, what I'm sure we all have had, that you can be really weighted down with a problem at night. And by the time you wake up in the morning, you know what you want to do about it. So in order to analyze your dreams, you have to start with free associating. You have to allow your mind to think of the dream and then see what else comes to mind. Not more details about the dream, but what the dream makes you think about. Let your mind float and write down all the details. Can you find any condensations, displacements, or symbols that can help bring the latent content to light? And this is something, you have to do this like you're an artist, that you just let your ideas flow. You have to let them flow out from inside. And keep in mind also that there can be forbidden wishes, because when you can get in touch with those forbidden wishes, that's what relieves stress, anxiety, and depression. And maybe you'd like to take a screenshot of this page as well. Okay, so when you're writing, you're going to come up against resistance. If you're getting to important stuff and stuff that matters to you. So when there are hidden wishes and thoughts and impulses, that's in our unconscious, and when we come close to knowing it, they become close to consciousness, we experience anxiety. The thinking part of our mind, the ego, says, no, you don't want to think about that. And the wish to turn away is a clue that you're getting close to something important. So sometimes it's good to push through, but also remember, talking and writing about important issues in life reduces health risks significantly. That's why we're working on this stuff. And also remember that screen is coming. Let's talk about the writing environment. Make sure you choose a private and a comfortable place. And this was a screenshot somebody sent me, a picture somebody sent me last time of their writing environment that looks pretty serene. What to expect. Feeling sad is normal. Some may become weepy. Most people feel worse to start. That's normal. Over time, many report long-term mood changes. They feel happier with less depressive symptoms, rumination, and general anxiety. I don't know whether you'll get these results with 3 nights of writing, but for people that keep going, it's quite reasonable to expect that. And here's what I wanted you to remember. This is the flip out rule. If a topic feels too difficult, just wait for the next prompt. If you feel you might flip out, don't write. Stop and return when you feel ready. So yes, it's good to get to unconscious material, but if your anxiety goes too high, give yourself a rest, and be kind to yourself in that regard. So we're getting started. Have you got your pens and your papers ready? I've got 2 exercises to get started. If this is your very earliest beginning of writing, don't start. I'm going to start the timer for all of us, but if you're a novice writer, you're going to spend 2 minutes writing about your favorite hot drink. What is it? What do you like about it? How often do you drink it? What comes to mind about it? And then 2 more minutes writing about the weather. How was it today? It's a good day to write about the weather, isn't it? What does the sky look like? Are there clouds, or were there? And then keep your pen to paper and see if you can keep your thoughts flowing and write for the next 4 minutes about whatever comes to mind. If you're a more seasoned writer, try to put your pen to paper when I start timing, and see if you can write for 8 minutes without stopping. Try not to put your pen down until the time is up. If nothing comes to mind, just repeat the sentence before. And I've got my trusty little stopwatch here. No, I guess I need my timer. And we're going to start. I'm going to, if you want to try the more seasoned writing exercise, disregard me telling the 2 minute marks. But for the novice writers, actually, I suppose I should ask, can you send me a message and let me think. Is there anybody that would like to do send me a message if you'd like to do the 2 minute ones. Because if nobody wants to do the 2 minute ones, I may as well just time you for 8 minutes. So there's a place to send a message if you can find it. Or I can turn your mics back on and you can let me know what you think. Is anybody sending me any messages? I got a message.
I think I'd like the 8 minute one.
Yes. Okay. Everybody, Alt-H brings up your chat, everybody. There's a message. Okay. Is there anybody that would like to do the 2 minute one? That's the question. Everybody better send me an answer, so I know. Alt-8, did you get your chat up? Okay, I've got 2 want 8 minutes. Roberta, have you got a sense of what you'd like to do? Or iPad? Okay, okay, 8 minutes and a hand raised. I presume that means 8 minutes. Okay, that's it. We're gonna do 8 minutes. Ready, pen to paper, and away you go. There's the timer. So your 8 minutes is now up. Whoops. There. Okay. So take a deep breath and on we go in this webinar, Writing to Heal. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think about this before you start. And then I'm going to ask you to write for 8 minutes on number 1 or number 2. So number 1 is write a letter to someone who did not help you or who hurt you or had some other negative experience where you faced stigma or judgment. Explain how that made you feel and why. That's one choice. Or the second prompt is think about a time that you disappointed yourself. Explain what happened and what feelings that you experienced. And this time, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to just reflect. I want you to think about both and just let your mind float along. And then after 2 minutes, I'll ask you to start writing again. So the 2 minutes starts now. Okay, so now you can start to write on number 1 or number 2. And there we go. I'm curious as to which of these prompts was more people chose. And I noticed for me, if I put my cursor up at the very top of my screen, I can do a drop down menu and I can go to more, and that can get me to chat, or also you can go to Alt H. So could you either do it, could you send me either a message privately or to the group to let me know if you did number 1 or number 2? Okay, I've got one message for number 2. Anybody else got a response? Okay, somebody did number 1. So far it's 50-50. Okay. That's nice. Somebody started writing the letter and then it ended up talking about it. It did both. Okay. Thank you for that feedback. So let's see what my next. I'm certainly cognizant of the time. Oopsie, why isn't my screen? Why isn't my screen moving? There we go. We're not going to have time for this one. It would have been probably a much nicer one. I think I'll put it in on Friday if we decide we want to go for the four sessions. This one is write a letter to someone who went above and beyond and did something positive that wasn't expected, and explain how it made you feel, or think of a time that you really felt good about something you did and describe what happened and how you felt towards yourself. But we're in our last 15 minutes, so we've got to go to our last exercise. Write for 15 minutes about something in your life that has upset you deeply. Let go and explore your deepest feelings and thoughts, both positive and negative. Tie it in with other aspects of your life, your relationship with others. Whoops, I guess that was the last one. Okay, and so I'm not giving you much of a break between exercises now. And I'm not going to give you the full 15 minutes to write because I do want to end on time. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes to write on something in your life that has upset you deeply. So let go and explore your deepest feelings and thoughts. Try to let yourself freely write. Try not to censor yourself. And remember the flip out rule. If you end up moving into something that is too upsetting, just let it go and start now. And there we go. So take a deep breath and take 2 minutes right now to just sit and think about how you're feeling. And I'm going to actually just give you 1 minute to reflect because we're late on time. Have any body tensions arisen while you've been writing? Do you feel tension in your neck, your shoulders, any in the pit of your stomach? Think about all of that, about how you're feeling, and also give some thought. I want you to notice if you have any dreams tonight. Okay, there we go. So that, oh, if you do have any dreams, try to remember the detail. You might dream as a result of what you've gone through tonight, what you've been doing. Oh, I guess that's the end of, I guess this is the last screen in session number 1. So thank you everybody for your participation, and I hope to see you tomorrow night, Wednesday. Probably will be able to sign on with a little bit, probably sign on a little bit easier tomorrow night. Anyway, good night, and I will look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. And if you have any comments that you want to email me about tonight, feel free, or you can post them on the website. But right now, I'm going to end the meeting at 9:01, so we're pretty punctual. Okay, good night now.
Night.